My father turned 84 this year, grew up on the farm down by Leroy. I made it a point to start asking him about his younger years. I'm going to tell you a few stories about his early school days. I'll let you decide how much is fact, how much is fiction. He went to a one-room schoolhouse. It was on the other side of the country block. Rather than walking 2 miles around that country block to the school, he walked a mile through the field to that country school. They were much more tenacious back then, you must agree. Their favorite part of school was lunchtime, because they get to go outside and run around. And Dad happened to notice that the teacher spent considerable time in the outhouse. And I understand that because it's the only place with privacy, and maybe there's some good reading material in there. You never know. Him and his friend Pelly would run around and find fun things to do. One day they found gopher mounds. You ever seen those black gopher mounds? They're made by pocket gophers who make these massive tunnels underground and pile it up outside. They thought it would be fun to dump water into this hole, watch the gophers come out, and try to bop them on the head with a stick. Dad and Pelly got the help of their friend Mikey. Mikey was larger and older than most people in his grade. Dad said maybe he was a couple of cookies short in his cookie jar upstairs. But they convinced Mikey to carry 2 5-gallon pails of water from a stream 300 yards away. Mikey kind of wondered about this, but Dad pointed out the obvious. You're so much bigger and stronger. Obviously, you're the best candidate for that. Mikey goes up to the end hole, and Dad and Pelly are standing with sticks. Sure enough, Mikey pours the water down, and these gophers start going out, and they try to bop him with the head. And it seemed like such a great fun. Mikey wanted a part of that. Another day, he got his chance because they were wandering around, and they saw the culvert. This is a big hole that's under a driveway, and it lets water through. But little animals and little boys like to go into those culverts. One day, Dad and Pelly discovered a skunk, and they thought, this is Mikey's chance to use the stick. They made a fire on the end of that culvert to make smoke, and then they ran over to watch how good Mikey was. Mikey missed. The skunk did not. Grandma could smell Dad coming across the field. He didn't make it to the house. She took him to the milk house, and she used a garden hose and soap and scrubbed him to within an inch of his life. Another day he comes home, and Grandpa meets him in the yard. Dad, frankly, was curious about which of his shenanigans had been discovered, and Grandpa says, Marvin, did you and Pelly tip over that outhouse at school? Dad thought about it for a moment. He said, you know, Dad, we did. But back George Washington, he admitted that he cut down the cherry tree, and he didn't get a whipping. Grandpa said, his teacher wasn't in that tree. Mr. Toastmaster.
Good. Thank you, Mike.